Hey everybody, welcome back. So, today I'm doing the rear control arms on the Mustang because the rear end is kinda... let's just say it flops around a lot under hard acceleration. Anyway, I was doing some research on different rear control arms, and the main control arm here that holds the spring, they're about $300 each. So it's $600 for two. So I went down a bit of a rabbit hole. I found out that this Mustang is the same as the Fox Body Mustangs. They all have the same control arms except the bolt size changes from one year to another or something. Most of the frame and the chassis parts are interchangeable, even the rear ends, but anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I finally found a set of cheaper control arms. It was $500 for all four, and they come with poly bushings. Now, because I did dive pretty deep in the rabbit hole, I figured out that the torque boxes on these cars are weak, and considering the amount of rust repair I've already done underneath, and thankfully those connectors are still in place, knock on wood they stay there, I invested in a torque box reinforcement kit. Just the uppers, but let's jump into it. Alright, so doing the control arm doesn't seem too bad at all. Don't even need to do the shock bolt because it's attached to the diff. But we have this lower control arm bolt here, this lower bolt here, and the spring to worry about, and it should drop down. For the uppers, oh, I know the lighting in here is terrible. You can just see it there. We got that bolt there, and then that bolt right on the diff. The only thing is, the exhaust gets in the way. So, just drop it there, and we'll have a nice day. Except for one small problem. I live in Canada. Some call it America's hat, but more importantly, I live in Ontario, which means salt, which means all the rust you see. And because of that, salt means corrosion, and corrosion means... yeah, that's seized. So, I'm gonna have to use some negotiation. By negotiation, I mean fire. I'm gonna sit here and enjoy my campfire for a little bit. I'm gonna catch up to you guys when I finally get this bugger out.
One eternity later.
Well, it's been a hot minute. As you can see, exhaust is down. Didn't want to separate, but the arm's out. And it took a lot of torching. But it came out and the bolt didn't break. Now this side was a little bit more negotiable, but not by a whole lot. And we even got pretty lucky here. On the upper control arms, they actually move. I have not tried that lower control arm. I know it's gonna need negotiations. But this upper arm, it moves. Sweet, sweet relief. So I'm gonna take this one out and I'll catch up with you guys in a minute.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, so now that we're starting to figure out how this comes together, we did figure out which side the washer goes onto. So, skinny washer does not go on that side. Skinny washer goes...
This is what you read the instructions after.
That's instructions. Skinny washer is supposed to go on this side.
But watch out for the car.
Don't pull what we did. Also, you need to take out your diff bottoming out bushing. I'm calling it that. I know it's a bump stop. Don't judge me. But to get this arm in, we will try and put the bump stop in after. Should fit with some tender loving care. Also, we're gonna have a lot of fun aligning the uppers, so definitely have at least the lower control arms in when doing this.
Dude, it's a fucking magnet tray too? No way. That is sick.
Best lathe in the world, eh?
Yeah.
Back to it. So we got it just about all mocked up. I know it's a pain in the butt to see, but it's all in. It takes a lot of gentle massaging.
Finesse.
Yeah. And dropping bolts. But it does go in quite nice. Now, we're supposed to drill out the holes and send it right through the frame, but we're probably going to tackle it instead And also, this is definitely at least a 2-man job. If there's beer involved, try 4 or 5.
Hey, I didn't get any beer yet. I would have been done by now.
Oh no, you probably would have been drunk in the corner by an hour ago. But yeah, we'll keep plugging away and then eventually get to this fun lower control arm. Alright, upper arms are now in place. The only thing we had to do was move the pinion up and down, a little bit left and right, and these just lined up in nicely. Final step is torching out this bugger because lo and behold, the bolts don't move. Let's get to it. Good morning. It's the next day. Sorry I didn't record too much. We were here till like a little past midnight, and going 7 hours straight kind of makes you forget to hit the record button. Anyways, I'll get you in here and I'll show you what we did last night. So I left off right when we were torching out this arm, and it's been disposed of and cleaned up for the most part. Still gotta clean that up. But we got this arm in, and obviously we got the springs in on both sides now. How we did that is put that bolt in first, just loose. Loaded the jack stand right up here, used the weight of the car to compress the spring, hammered the bolt through, and had a nice day. But just to go through everything last night, for this bugger up here, what we needed to do was take off both upper arms. So originally we had just this arm out, and then we took this arm out, which buttered out nicely. But before we could take this one out, instead of just leaving one arm dangling everything, we put the new arm in, just the bolts, no spring, to hold it in place and locate it. Took both those arms out, and then we fished this bugger in. To get this bugger in, you gotta take out the rear diff bump stop. That's the word I'm looking for. As soon as you unbolt that and maneuver this in place, you'll also probably need to take out the hanger that's on this side. Yes, it's right below there. Then you weasel this in here. Then you weasel your control arms in. Then you weasel these in. And then you fight with the bolt. And it takes about, give yourself about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then realize that when you put that big washer on this side, it doesn't fit. And take the bolt out again. So yes, big washer on the outside, big bolt all the way through. We got these arms in. And then we focused on this arm. And then we got the springs in. And that brings us to this morning. Well, almost this morning. This upper torque box reinforcement kit does bolt into the frame, but you gotta drill through it first. Then you put the bolts with the sleeves in through it. So right now, because of time constraint, we opt to just tack weld it, and we'll get back to it later. When is later? I don't know, but we'll figure it out then. So the goals for today is get this big dangly exhaust back up, as well as that exhaust mount. Let's get to it. that's the car down. I gotta still torque the wheel, that's why I haven't kicked the hoist out, but that was a big job. Did about 7 hours yesterday, about 1 hour today. It's about 8:20 in the morning. Started around 7:20. But yeah, she's done. It's sitting pretty. Hopefully, handles better. Anyways, one person to hang up the exhaust, not recommended. If your buddy's still around, definitely get him to help. And yeah, this is a two-man job. But that said, it's done. I'm happy, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.